Today I'm going to talk to you about siblings. As I run downtown to meet up with my friends, the dinosaurs. There's a fellow runner coming towards me down the hill in front of Lambert Park School. He looked like a younger, taller, and handsomer version of me. Which reminds me of my brother, Pablo. He's the youngest. He was born on the 29th of April, 1954. Which makes him, what's that, 62? Something like that. I'm 67 this August. Pablo lives in Sussex, and he and I are closer than me and my older brother, because we spent most of our formative youth together, me and Pablo. He still lives in Sussex, in a town or in a village called Skanes Hill. He has 3 children. My older brother, his name is Louis. He was named after our dad, Jose Luis Castillo. As I approach the 1 kilometer mark on this run.
Time, 7:53. Distance, 1. Average pace, 7:52. Cadence, 69. Average heart rate, 114. Workout average pace, 7:50.
Well, that seems to be working loud and clear. I must be getting close to the end of my 5 minutes, but I'll just spend a minute talking about Louis. Louis was born on December the 5th, 1947, which makes him 71. He has had some of his large intestine removed, because of cancer, colorectal cancer. He seems to have thrived for the last 5 years. Him and his wife have traveled a lot. He is my financial advisor. He controls the purse strings from my inheritance. And God bless him. That's all I can say. But that is my 5 minutes on siblings.
Oh yeah, because they're taking all their business probably.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about siblings.
Siblings.
You know what siblings are?
Brothers and sisters?
Correct. You have what? How many siblings do you have?
I only have one now.
Okay, so what's his name?
Ted.
Ted, that's right. I was trying to remember what your older brother's name was. Ted. Ted Muir, is that his full name?
Yeah.
And what about it? Can you remember his date of birth? No. Where was he born? Was he born in Saskatchewan?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you remember growing up together? A little bit?
No, not really.
So the next question would be, when did you guys split up?
Probably when I was 7 years old.
Okay, so you weren't living in the same house as him when you were 7?
No, I was more closer to my foster brother than anything.
To Jamie?
To Jamie's
Robbie.
son. Yeah,
Robbie. Okay. Not Robbie, my Robbie, your Robbie. I wonder what my Robbie's up to.
I don't know.
I wonder if he is still working for the home care agency that I knew him from. He and I used to do the same job. So poor old Robbie died. That was just last year, wasn't it? Not my Robbie, your Robbie.
Oh, yes.
Well, you know, it would be sad if anybody's Robbie died. Yeah. Do you think Jenny's got over it, or she's still crying?
Oh, she's still sad.
You know, I'm thinking of making an investment in your dad's art business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pay for his framing.
Really?
Yeah, from some matting of his favorite pieces. And we're going to sell them on Used Victoria on the Saturday News.
Oh.
They have a page at the back where you can put one picture and then just put the information, like you were trying to sell a couch.
Yeah.
You never know. It's a free ad, I believe.
When do they have that
Every
thing?
Thursday, every Wednesday it comes out.
Or when do they have that thing that you were saying?
Oh, like a art show, the gallery, Moss Street.
Yeah.
The Moss Street painting. That's what it's called. That's in August sometime, in the summer.
I'll get a new job by then.
Well, it depends. The job at Lowe's might pan out. Anyway, so we won't go and see your dad now, but maybe on the way back. I don't know if it's a good idea to drop in. Maybe you could go and see him after we finish at the James Bay Coffee and Books. Yeah, you don't want to overdo it? No. I guess that's true. It's like with Sabrina.
Yeah.
If you go and see her every day and every night, you get sick of each other very quick. Don't you think? Maybe something like that.
Me and Sabrina might not be together anymore.
No? Well,
I don't know.
it ain't over till it's over.
She's going through some things right now, so
Oh, that's sad.
I thought she just got over it, but
She's still pining.
still not healthy.
Okay. As long as she doesn't have to rearrange her world too much. You know, they could just give stronger and stronger medication until there's not a problem, but then, you know, you end up feeling like a zombie all the time. That's not good. So, how did you break your wrist?
Oh, basketball.
What happened? Did you slip and fall on your awkwardly on your hand.
Yeah.
This is Suzanne, out walking Travis McGee in Lexington, Kentucky, with my 5 minutes about siblings. I have one brother who is 7 years younger than I am. And when he was born, I was not only the only child, I was also the only grandchild on both sides. He kind of disrupted my life because I was a princess. And here comes this boy. And back in the 50s, boys, of course, were worth more, it seems. The first time I met him, I had been asking my mother what's the difference between boys and girls besides their hair, and she decided to show me. Well, any of you that know anything at all about baby boys, when you uncover their diaper, take off their diaper, they immediately pee. And he peed in my face. So, needless to say, we didn't get along too well. And I married young, so I was pretty much gone by the time he was 9. And we, it still remained sibling rivalry. Till sometime in his teens, I don't know what happened. The gypsies exchanged him for a real human being or something, and he turned into a pretty great guy. Wow. We have traveled together, and we do well. We drink a lot of coffee, and we do well. We both enjoy quiet. We both wake up early in the morning, but we also don't want to talk. So we sit there in nice companionship, sipping coffee, and watching the sun come up. Whatever. Both of our spouses will sleep in. And he's just a all-around good guy. I remember, it was about the first time I realized he was a human, was when he was over at my house. He had just broken up with his girlfriend, and he was watching shock theater. I can't remember. It was Billy the Kid meets Count Dracula, something really bad. With me at midnight, realized what was happening, and got back with her, which was a huge mistake, and I told him so. But that's just me. Okay, this is why I don't like to do this on Walking Travis McGee. It seems that as soon as I pull the phone out and start talking, he does his business, which has to be cleaned up. So instead of hearing nice bird sounds and such, you're hearing a plastic bag. But we'll get on to that. Siblings. The best thing he ever did for me after my second marriage broke up, he was helping me move out. And I was sucking it up as best as I could. And he kind of hugged me. And he said, "Sis, you know what? You've always been somebody's daughter, somebody's wife, somebody's mother. And it's just time for you to be somebody." And with a cheering squad like that, it doesn't get any better. Right now, our rivalry consists of basically planning our own funerals and who's going to have the best one. Right now, mine's pretty epic. If you ever see a bizarre thread where Richard Smalling chimes in, watch. There will be comments. We've always said if the other says something really, really nice, then we get worried because it means we're probably going to die. So that's the story of my brother. Another time, maybe I'll tell you the story of my sons.
And what year was Beth born in?
66. I know Beth. I couldn't remember whether it was 63 or 64.
What year was I born in?
64.
No!
63.
63. It's a bit poor, it is.
I'm sorry.
I suppose it was a long time ago.
Well, I don't know why I forgot, because I always, when I wrote those things down.
Are you sure Beth's born in 66? What, not 65?
Was it 65? I know it was 2 years after, but there were funny times because you see, one was in December and one was in December and one was in February, so there wasn't really a whole year between them. It was only
2 years, just over 2 years, isn't it? When you say a year, it's just over 2 years between us two being born. No,
but you see, it was
2
only
years.
sort of 18 months, really, because it was in 2 years. Because one was in.
It's over 2 years. Because I'm born in December.
You were born in December.
Oh, lovely. That's lovely.
All the same, so there'll be no arguments.
Thank you.
Here you go.
Brilliant.
You're very welcome.
The thing is, I was born in 63 in December. So
it was
born
when
2 years later, in February. So she's 63.
So it's a year.
64, 65.
A year?
Yeah, so she's 66, February. Yeah, that's right. You were right first time then. But I had you doubting.
So it was. See, that was December. Then you had the whole year free, and then she was born in the February. There was a year and sort of 6 months. I know it was pretty quick because he told me I was getting too old to have children.
Oh. Did he?
I told you that.
So we did a quick flip. 38, 39.
Mid-30s. I don't think you were that. Probably about 36.
38.
Oh, yeah? Let's do another calculation. Can you hear the rusty wheels starting to turn? I think something's broken off. So, 63. How old am I? I don't think you were 38 when you met.
I think so. I was born in 1929.
49, 59,
29.
69, 79. No, hang on. 49, 40. That means you were 60 when Beth was born.
Hey, you're putting a stop.
40, 50, 60, all right, 30.
Carlos, good morning. This is Anthony with your 5 minutes, or my 5 minutes. Somebody's 5 minutes. I believe your latest topic was to be about siblings. And, well, I have some of those. I've got 3 younger siblings. I'm the oldest out of 4. I'm also the prettiest. That's a lie. Me and my 2 brothers, Connor and Barry, we were all born in Ireland. We moved here with my parents in '86 from Belfast. I have a sister, Orla, good Irish name. She was born here in the States. And if you're curious, her name is spelled O-R-A-I-L. Oh, hold on, I screwed it up. O-R-L-A-I-T-H. She's had a heck of a time with that name. Obviously, so have I. They're all good people. What I like the most about my siblings is the four of us are all kind of different, but we get along very well. We all do almost totally different things. My middle brother, Connor, is a heck of a guitar player. And I'm not sure what style it is. He can wail on that thing. Pretty good. I think he's in a band. I'd have to get back to you all on that. My younger brother, Barry, he's the redhead out of the group, which if you're Irish, I guess that makes sense. Sure, why not? He just kind of does his own thing. He recently just got married to a wonderful girl named Kristen. She's a really cool part of the family. And my sister, the one with the weird name, she works with autistic children. And she has a great passion for that. It's pretty impressive, actually. She sees a lot of good in people. It's pretty neat. She sees past a lot of crap with everything going on these days. So, pretty cool family. Cool parents. Cool brothers and sisters. I don't know what else to say about us. I mean, that's only 2.5 minutes. My goodness, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think what else we can talk about. Well, my sister plays rugby, which is funny because she's like maybe 80 pounds soaking wet. I'm exaggerating, but there's not much to her. A few times we went to watch her play rugby. It's hilarious because she was just getting pummeled. I'm her big brother. I'm allowed to laugh at her. But she was okay. She loves it, and they just won a championship somewhere down south. I forget where, but she loves it. And hey, whatever floats your boat, right? Pretty cool. I mean, heck, I run. Neither of those other three run. Connor works out. He just got back into working out. Had a lot of ear infection problems. It's weird. He's the healthiest one out of the bunch, and the poor guy is always sick. Never an ounce of tobacco, drug, alcohol, and the poor guy is always sick. Oh, man. And, well, Barry has a really impressive beard. Carlos, you would appreciate that. It's a pretty cool looking beard. Kind of his thing, I guess. A ginger beard. He is an electrical worker for some big company, I forget. Does very well at it. Does well for his family, which is very good. Something to be grateful for. And I'm just a dirty railroader. So that's about all I can give you for your 5 minutes. I hope it's acceptable. I hope I did it right. I hope you enjoy it. I hope to hear everyone else's submission about siblings. It's always a cool story. Learn something new. And I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Good afternoon, YFMers. This is Ellen from the Berkshires. This podcast is about siblings, so I certainly have the ability to speak about that. I have 9 siblings, and I am the youngest. So I'm the youngest of 10 children in a Catholic family, of which I am not. And I was raised very differently than kids are raised today. But I do try to raise my kids with a lot of similarities. So let me just go back to siblings. When I was born, my mother was 45, my father was 46, and I was number 10, and my oldest sister, who always reminds me how mortified she was, that she was graduating high school and her mother was still having babies. So that was quite a social stigma for her, and it was kind of an interesting thing for me because I kind of felt responsible for her embarrassment, but she was also a very good big sister. when she went away to college and came home, she kind of became my surrogate mother in a lot of ways until she went off on her own and got married and had her own kids, of which her first child is less than 3 years younger than me. So I kind of had a little sister in that respect because she did a lot of things with me and took me a lot of places, and her daughter and I became good friends. But the majority of my siblings, there were 6 boys and 4 girls, and all of the girls were in the upper half. So they were graduating high school and a year younger and a year younger. And my next sister up is 10 years older than me. And then it was all boys. So I kind of was socialized and raised by the boys. And that was a very, very fun way to grow up. I learned to drive motorcycles when I was 12. I had my own, a little Harley Davidson 250 Sprint. I learned to ride a bicycle when I was 5, but they were always boys' bikes, so they had that bar, which was not good when my foot slipped off the broken pedal. It used to just be a spoke. We can go on and on about cracked pubic bones, and I learned to climb trees. I learned to drive a car when I was quite young. I learned to work on cars when I was even younger. And I got to do a lot of that stuff that in my day was absolutely, girls were not allowed to participate. But because I had so many brothers, they just dragged me along, and I grew up as one of the boys. I love my brothers dearly. I value everything that they taught me. I think the most important things that they taught me were, I tend to think kind of linear, like males tend to do, but they just taught me not to be afraid to try anything, to be who I am, and to embrace my strengths and weaknesses. So as a girl, I was kind of athletic, and I was definitely a tomboy, and I wore grandpa pants that my brothers handed down and flannel shirts. But, I mean, I never was gender confused or anything. I always knew that I was a girl. I just really liked a lot of the stuff that they could do much better, like play baseball on a team. Girls couldn't back then. So I was allowed to practice with them and be part of that until it came official time. Sometimes I wonder if that's why I hate racing so much. I like running, but when it comes to that official time, I never really feel like I belong or that I'm a part of it. Just this random off the top of my head, probably should shut my mouth now thinking, but I was very fortunate to grow up in a large family. I loved it. I do have to tell you, I was number 10, so by the time it came to me getting away with stuff, it was not possible. My parents had been there, done that. They knew all the tricks. They knew all the stories. So that, I think, helped me be pretty honest. Why lie? They knew I was drinking when I fell upstairs coming home, and tried to pretend I was the cat that we didn't have. But that's another story. So, yes, I had a pretty wild life. My brothers used to throw me back and forth across the room. They taped me up in a cardboard box and rolled me down this huge hill. I grew up rough, tough, and I grew up enriched. I grew up loved, and I grew up challenged by my siblings who really raised me, and I adore them, and I'm very thankful, and I hope I can be half of that to my kids. Have a great day. Ellen from the Berkshires, snowbound.
Thanks everybody for your contributions. Here is a robot voice to end the show. James Harris, is it only me that thinks the rustle of a crisp packet is similar to someone's nails being raked down a blackboard? A person sitting near to me at the moment is perilously close to a danger they have no idea about. Can I add? Whispering, chewing loudly, squeaky seats, breathing, strange tics, noise from other people's phones. All of these things are happening around me now, as I try to quietly read my book.